So
I think we're live. Well, welcome to another episode of Lombardi Sweep. Here, me, Janet, Trevor. You'll notice we were without our fearless leader tonight, Zach, but that's okay. We'll work through it. Not a whole lot of Packer news going on this week. Aaron Jones did post on Twitter that his father recently passed, so thoughts and prayers with him. I don't know if you guys have any initial reactions to it or just the thoughts and prayers. But to stay, not to be insensitive, but do you think this gives Aaron Jones a little incentive to play better this year?
That was going to be one of the first things that I talked about. It's obviously got to be tough to lose a parent like that. But the way Aaron Jones finished last season, definitely not on a good note. So it'll be interesting to see that extra motivation. He's got his money. He definitely has a motivation. I think he's going to be running angry all season. And I think that's a good thing for the Packers. We're going to need it. And I can't even imagine the work he's going to be putting in this off season. Obviously, it's a tough time for him right now, and we're all with him. But, I have a feeling this guy's going to come out like a man possessed come September.
Yeah, I totally agree. It kind of reminds me when Giannis's dad died, and he kind of came out and just stole the MVP from anyone. For anyone who's listening who's Bucs fans. Janet, any thoughts from you on that?
yeah, I think he's gonna ball out just because he was practically his life coach, and I don't play sports or anything, but my dad's my coach, and he's always been the one that I try to impress with any sport that I do, even though I'm not the best. But so I can just imagine being in the NFL and getting to where you are because you had that support from your dad, and then he passes. I'm pretty sure he's going to be on fire.
Yeah. And then, I didn't even – Janet, you're back this week. I didn't even mention that when we started.
Oh, yeah.
How was your experience recruiting your kindergartners or whatever you're doing? Walk us through it.
It was pretty interesting. Well, first of all, y'all on Twitter are hilarious, and I'm over here trying to speak to parents, and at the same time I'm laughing because you guys are having an argument over peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and how to make them.
Important argument I'd like to add, but go on.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I've never worked for a charter school, so I've never had to recruit students. Usually that's where you go because that's the closest school to you. So it was really interesting to actually go and speak to parents and try to sell them to send them to your classroom or your school. It was really weird, but it was an experience, and I signed up for it thinking it was mandatory, and then later on I was told it was volunteer. Like you just did it voluntarily, and I'm new to the school, so I didn't know what else to say to the parents, but it was all right.
It was kind of like you're Nick Saban out there recruiting everyone to come to play football at Alabama.
For sure. I want all the best kids in my class, all the smart ones.
Right.
Just don't get too good because the Packers are going to have you recruit free agents so that we can get better than a long snapper who has not played the game in 5 years. So,
yeah.
Kind of going back to this, just talking about Aaron Jones, the running backs. Something that came to my mind when I was, prepping for the show or whatever, were second-year players. I don't know who's in the second year this year. Obviously, with Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. I don't know if you guys have any ideas or thoughts on who you think will make the next step as a second-year player. The first couple that came to my mind were, obviously Jordan Love, Kamal Martin, and A.J. Dillon. But I imagine with Jamal Williams leaving, that's got to open up a big door for A.J. Dillon to maybe see some third down work. Any players on your guys' mind that may pop out to you as a candidate next year?
I'd say Kamal Martin for sure. I think what the Packers have with him and Chris Barnes has not been realized yet, but I think it's going to be really good. He's shown the ability to play well at the linebacker, and him and Chris Barnes, when they're in the game at the same time, have been more than good. I believe, if I don't have them mixed up, Kamal Martin did play at Minnesota, and
Yep.
really the only reason why he fell was because of those knee injuries. I think he had at least one, if not two. He's really coming to his own. I guess the only question now is, can he stay healthy? But man, Kamal Martin, Chris Barnes, those guys. Um, to be honest, I'm not as worried at linebacker as other people are, because I'm really high on both those guys. I think those guys are studs.
Any thoughts from you, Janet?
We're talking about any
Yep.
second-year player. I would say Josiah DeGuara. DeGuara, am I saying it right? I know he was like starting to take off and then got injured. So I think that once, hopefully, he's back on the field, he can really show his potential. But I think he was starting to get a little bit of a spotlight there for a minute and then got injured.
Yeah, I almost wonder too, with him being, a good run blocker, whatever they're going to use him for, almost like a fullback tight end hybrid, and they're just going to keep featuring Aaron Jones. Maybe turn Aaron Jones into a workhorse 3-down back. It'll be interesting to see. But Trevor, going back to Kamal Martin, would you even worry about taking a linebacker in the draft then?
I think you can take a linebacker in the draft, but I think taking him within the first 3 rounds, I don't understand it. I mean, unless you get one heck of a fall from somebody, I look at round 1, round 2. One of those has got to be cornerback. Excuse me, not quarterback. Cornerback, like an Asante Samuel, Greg Newsome kind of player. Another one could be an offensive lineman. There are plenty of ways you can go with it, but it should probably be O-line or cornerback. Linebacker, you can take a guy. I mean, there are going to be some guys that are going to drop because this draft is deep, as our fearless leader joins. Look at him just popping in randomly.
Oh, hey there, sports fans.
I didn't. Zach, did you not like me hosting the show? You had to hop in and do it yourself.
I had to glass breaking, Stone Cold coming through in the middle of the match. That's what I was trying to do.
I thought more of like the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah, just like
that too.
Luke, you lasted all of 5 minutes, kind of about as long or about as productive as Dean Lowry has been in your 5 minutes. So hats off to you. But yeah, the draft, I don't think you need a linebacker. If that guy, Zach, could you remind me of his name from Notre Dame? What's that guy's name? Linebacker. No, not Matt Detea, the one in the draft.
Asamoah. I don't know his full name, but yeah.
If he falls first round, maybe. Outside of that, I don't feel real strongly about anybody.
Yeah, Zach, I don't know if you were listening or whatever, but talking about kind of like second-year breakout players or players you think will, be better than their rookie year next year, if you have any off the top of your head.
I really like Jordan Love, quarterback out of Utah State. I think he's really going to outshine. A.J. Dillon, running backs typically grow in pass protection, stuff like that in their second year. So hopefully he does that. Otherwise, I know Kamal Martin's a stud. He's going to be fine. DeGuara, hopefully, can do something more than just tear ACLs. That's all he did last year, but he's supposed to be like a versatile blocker. They have big plans for him. I have no idea of any injury or rehab updates on him, but I know hopefully he can do something.
Yeah, it's funny that you came in and said those 3 players because those are the 3 exact players that we just talked about.
Jordan Love?
Well, I think I mentioned Jordan Love, but...
okay. Don't mind me. You're still the host. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. Trevor, I think Trevor turned a leaf last week and got on the Jordan Love train, didn't you?
By being on the train, does that mean he's not the worst pick in NFL in the 2020 draft? Because I think that's what has to constitute, because it was such a backwards pick. We should just have him and Rodgers switch. Just throw Jordan Love to Jeopardy and just keep Aaron Rodgers here. Send him away.
So that actually leads me into the first. I told you guys I had a couple questions for my buddies, whatever. That actually leads me to my first one. Is first of all, did you guys watch Aaron Rodgers on Jeopardy the last couple of days? I know I'm a big Jeopardy fan.
I saw the first show, not the next 2.
So he went on Instagram Live 2 nights ago, last night, saying that he wants to do both Jeopardy and the NFL. which I think would be pretty damn interesting if he could pull that off, considering they taped so many shows in one day. Just it'd be funny to see the next Alex Trebek being our own Aaron Rodgers.
That would be insane. Like just shutting people down on Jeopardy and then all of a sudden starting Sunday, winning MVP. That'd be sick.
Honestly, seeing Jordan Love, I think it might be more entertaining than actual Packers games once he retires. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And he could have some little jabs at the Packers. Oof, that would be a good one.
Especially, you can never get enough of Aaron Rodgers, right? So I said I had some questions for you guys. I'll get into them. I'll read off the ones that I sent to Janet first, so she could prep for the show. The one of them was on a scale of 1 to 10. How much of a setback do you think our offensive line will face without Corey Linsley?
I can start just Linsley. That's the only one we're talking about.
Yep.
0. Assuming they have a normal training camp and mini camp for Patrick, whoever it is, to work with Rodgers to develop some sort of chemistry, and the guards tackles would develop some sort of chemistry on like making signals pre-snap. I'm very much of, like I've been preaching, Linsley's not an unbelievable talent. He wasn't the top graded Pro Football Focus center because he is, the David Bakhtiari of centers. I think he really benefits from the guards. The guards often actually called a lot of the signals last year, not just Corey Linsley. So he's getting a little bit too much credit. He's a very, very good player. I am discrediting it, but I don't want to discredit it too much. It's not like he's bad, but you can hide a lot of weaknesses there. They don't use the center in like screens or anything where they have to move in space. They're literally just double teaming every play. So I don't think it matters.
Yeah, before I speak, Janet knew these questions beforehand. Zach and I did not, so I think we should just serve a little extra credit on top of it. I would say a 4 if we put Elton Jenkins at the center, just because I feel like we could be using him in other places, and because he's at center, we have weaker other places on the line. But if Elton Jenkins isn't playing center, I think it's a 1.
Janet?
I actually had the same as Trevor, 4 or 5. I was just kind of like in the middle because I was also thinking about our offensive line as like a whole. We scored. Sorry, I'm freezing. It was 93 degrees out here, and my AC is working double time. So now it is really cold in here. We scored 509 points last season, which was the most in the NFL last year. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't just one person doing it all. So I think we're going to be okay. And also, I noticed that his percentage of play time has dropped throughout the years because he has gotten older. So more injuries and stuff like that. So I think finding somebody a little bit younger would probably be just fine.
Yeah, and then kind of going off of that, Trevor, we kind of just talked about where you would take a linebacker in the draft. Do you guys see any need to take a center high in the draft, or maybe not even a center, just another guard or something high in the draft?
Trevor, are you going?
Sure. Offensive lineman, maybe if somebody falls to you. Like, I don't think you trade up, but you can definitely take somebody in the first round. But I don't think they're in kind of a happy medium, I guess. If they take somebody, I think it's perfectly fine. If they wait till a little later, I don't think they're, completely ruined. As long as they do not put a Jordan Love and trade up like they did for Spriggs, or just fail like they did with Sherrod, they'll be just fine.
Yeah, I don't. There's some pretty good interior offensive linemen, I would say, where the Packers draft, which means obviously they would trade up and take one, even though they would have fallen to them. But you really never need to take an interior offensive lineman early. Even like the Quentin Nelsons of the world. His scheme is fit for him. He's a freak, but he's one of a million. Like, name another unbelievable offensive guard that doesn't also have an amazing offensive tackle right next to him. So I'm fine taking a tackle early. There's a few tackles I really, really like. I don't think we need to go interior at all until like round 4 plus.
Yeah, I think I agree. Trevor, you bringing up Derek Sherrod and Jason Spriggs, it brought me to this tweet I saw where it was the question was, what is the worst draft class your team has ever had? And someone quoted with a picture of the 2015 Packers draft class. I'll just read off some names here, and you guys react how you want. First round, Demarius Randall. Second round, Quentin Rollins. Third round, Ty Montgomery. Fourth round, Jake Ryan. Fifth round, Brett Hundley. Sixth round, Aaron Ripkowski. Sixth round, Christian Ringo. Sixth round, Bernard Backman.
Did you get that off me? I think I retweeted it with the cat fainting.
Yeah,
the cat's fainting. Yeah, that was me.
When a fullback is your best draft choice, you're in trouble. But Ty Montgomery wasn't horrible, right? He just became kind of a head ass against the Rams when he ran out that kick return. Zach, I already heard your and Jake Osmond's podcast on that. We don't need to go into that for your sake anymore. But yeah, I feel like they had some talent. Some of the guys didn't get a whole lot of time either, but overall, that still was a horrible draft.
It's a horrible draft because the first few picks, right? Like, those need to be surefire, no risk, and those are the ones they missed on, which seems to be a pattern with the Packers. But honestly, Ty Montgomery, I think that's a good pick that he wasn't used correctly, and now he is being used correctly. He's just a third, fourth running back on the Saints. Randall, again, they drafted him out of position, tried to make him something, which was a theme during that point. Jake Ryan, I think, is actually a really good draft pick. He got hurt when he left Green Bay, I believe. No, he was still hurt with Green Bay when he was going to be the starter. I think he's fine. And then there was one other that you said that I thought was good later on, but it wasn't, rounds 1, 2, which, yeah, we can't hit on.
Right. That's what you need to hit on.
Yeah.
Which kind of hopefully works out with who was the second guy we drafted over Sean Gary? I was going to mix it up. Was it Jair Alexander or Darnell Savage?
Savage, I think.
Yeah. So, maybe to change the ways here, and hopefully that works out. But going back to my questions here, I mentioned last week we kind of talked about the schedule a little bit. One question I have here is, what is the most important matchup you guys see for this coming season? I can start off the top.
Yeah.
I don't know if the times are out. I haven't taken that deep a look into the schedule yet. But if there's a Sunday night game against the Bears, that's an easy 56-10 win. Seems to happen every single year. The Chiefs game I don't think is such a big deal, but I think once again the Packers, all the division games are going to be the ones, and they can take the majority of the division games again, then it's almost guaranteed that they win the division, which I think is possible, especially with the quarterbacks that are in the division.
I mean, yeah, the away against the Vikings is an easy answer just because I think the Vikings got quite a bit better despite, their starting corner being careless with guns and whatnot. He's probably not back. But besides that, they were smart in free agency and got a lot better, and they draft really well. So honestly, they should be favorites to win the division at this point, in my personal opinion. So I think away there, we need to seal a win on the road against the Vikings. But I mean, the away games, really quick, non-conference, Cardinals, Ravens, Bengals, Chiefs, Saints, 49ers. AFC is not super important. Saints are going to be a lot worse. But 49ers is tough. Cardinals is tough. It's a really tough schedule. Supposedly fourth toughest, even though that's skewed. Packers don't really have wiggle room this year like they have the past 2 years.
Yeah, I guess my cop-out answer would kind of be the NFC West. You have 49ers and Cardinals on the road. You got to be winning at least one, if not both of those. And then you have the Seahawks and the Rams at home, which, again, out of those 4 games, you got to win at least 2. preferably 3. The playoffs, are they going back to regular 6 teams next year, or are they going to keep it 7?
No, they're keeping it. It's still 7.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're not getting the 1 seed anyways, so I guess it's really not going to matter all that much. But you look at those games at home against the Browns, tough game against the Ravens on the road. Like you said, Zach, they have no room to move, and it'll be interesting to see, especially when their bye week is, because it seems like
Yeah.
this team always gets screwed by the bye week. That's going to be really important, because if we can split some of those tough games in half, get healthy, that's huge.
Can you imagine a week 4 bye in a 17-game season now? It'd be so stupid.
Every year we get a bad bye. Like, when was the last time the Packers had a bye and you were like, okay, that's not horrible? Like, it's got to be at least a couple of years.
What week is your guys' ideal bye week?
Honestly, this year with Bakhtiari, I want it to be slightly early. Week 6, I think would be okay.
I was gonna say week 7. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm always for going late and saving the best for last. So I'll go week 10. Give yourself a good round number.
I agree with you.
I think the team will also have a good hot start because it's pretty much the same team. So there shouldn't be much to learn. So I think they can get a jump on teams there. But we're still how many months out? That's just a guess anyways.
Sorry, Janet, we kind of skipped over you for what you think is going to be the best matchup or the most important matchup.
Within our division, I think it's going to be Vikings. They are our biggest threat, just like what Zach was saying. And then as far as the other teams, I have Cardinals, 49ers, Chiefs, and then Rams, ? I remember when we played them last year, they mentioned, I don't remember where, they mentioned that Sean McVay and Matt LaFleur sometimes like to share playbooks. So that's kind of like, when I heard that, I was like, man, what are you doing? But okay, yeah. So I think that's why I have a question mark there, just because that's the reason why it's going to be a tough one.
Matt and
I
Sean.
think you're forgetting the Joe Barry factor. Joe Barry knows Sean McVay inside and out. He knows what he eats for breakfast. He knows his bathroom time, his bathroom schedule. He is just going to get into the mind of Sean McVay and absolutely defeat him from the inside out.
I forgot that.
We need to make the Packers-Rams a Super Bowl somehow, because that would be the best you have it game of all time. Like, the Rams get to the Super Bowl, what do? Sit the best running back of all time, Todd Gurley, don't run it with them because of the future, What do the Packers do? Kick field goals and then not do onside kicks. That could be a fun game of who wants to win less.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So coming into the next question here, who do you guys think? Who's your candidate for most improved for next year? We kind of talked about second-year players already, but as far as the whole roster goes, how about most improved for next year? Go ahead, Janet.
I have Tunyon, King, or Sternberger. There's word on the street that they might cut Sternberger just because he hasn't really produced anything. King is on the line. I feel like King is on the line, and so is Tunyon. So those are my 3 guys right there.
Well, most improved. King has a lot of room to improve. Same with Dean Lowry. I think those are 2 good answers. I would probably go Lucas Patrick. I think he's going to see a lot of time. I mean, he's not going to. If there are team awards, he's not going to win it because he's a lineman, and you're not going to see it. But I like him. If Kamal Martin stays healthy, man, I think he can be a top 10 guy. I really believe in him a lot. He's got the perfect build. He's really good. Oh, no. I'm going to go Preston Smith for sure, 100%. He's definitely going to be a lot better this year.
Can't get worse, right?
True. We're not going to play him basically at corner like we did last year.
Zach, I agree with you on Kamal Martin. Our guy here in chat, Pat Camilleri Snow says Martin's a great blitzer. I don't disagree with him. I think he's a fast guy, works well in Joe Barry's system. So I mean, there's definitely all of it adds up for a big year next year, barring injury. Trevor, you got a guy in your mind?
Of course I do. There's only one name, and the fact that he has not been brought up in a show in the last how many weeks is disgusting. It's Devin Funchess, the better version of Curtis Samuel, but playing completely different. He's going to be amazing. James Jones 2.0. There's that pic of all the Packers receivers together. What do you think they're talking about? They're talking about how can we find Devin Funchess in the end zone. They're trying to get the best piece of all those guys into Devin Funchess. Either him on offense. On defense, I'd probably say Kevin King. I mean, I do not like him. I don't think he's good. But, say what you will, he's got a lot to prove. And I feel like he was so bad when we last saw him that literally any minor improvement is going to be like, holy crap, get this dude to the Pro Bowl.
You won't hear me saying that.
I think we need a little origin story on why you think Devin Funchess is the next or the better version of Curtis Samuel.
I mean, there really isn't one. To be honest, I just kind of wanted a bold statement, and that was bold. But I liked him with Carolina, and he looked good with Carolina. And I think I said this before: if you can look good when Cam Newton is your quarterback, you're pretty good. He took a year off. He's ready. He's refreshed. Nobody knows how to, defend him because he has not played in a year. I don't know, man. All aboard the Devin Funchess train. All aboard. We'll get something going. Like every time Devin Funchess catches a touchdown, I'll tweet out a short live video of me. I don't know, doing something. Okay, I don't drink anymore, but like you can face swap me onto like some dude like dancing. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
I don't mind Devin Funchess, and I think he's a decent player. Clearly not Curtis Samuel, but he could be the next James Jones. I think those skill sets are comparable. I still very, very much am pushing for him to line up at tight end like he used to do in college a lot. And if we could cut Sternberger and just play, Funchess in those snaps essentially, and then also in the red zone out wide, he could easily, pull a James Jones, have like 10 catches for the season for 9 touchdowns. Like that could be realistic.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was one of my favorite seasons ever. Was James Jones led the league in receiving touchdowns. But Trevor, I just brought that up because I think it's so funny because I feel Devin Funchess and Curtis Samuel are such different wide receivers that making that connection is even out there. Trevor, are you frozen or?
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, okay.
Oh.
I just am very still. Like what's his name? What's his name from Infinity War?
Drax.
Drax. That's me. I just move so slowly. I'm not even here. I'm kind of like Kevin King. I'm just not even there. So
there you go.
Dean Lowry. Yes, there we go. Get in that Dean Lowry hate today.
Trevor, you have your notepad on you?
Do I have a what?
Your notepad on you?
No, but I got an iPad and I got a phone and I got a computer.
Okay.
If it's Dean Lowry hate related, I got you.
Well, I think that we should make our season predictions, what our record's going to be, and come back to them at the end of the season.
Let's wait till after the draft because if we take another quarterback, I think that's going to change some things.
All right. Well, I'll do mine. I guarantee the Packers will go 13-4 this year. 13-4, right?
That's what I have. Yeah.
Who do you have them losing?
I had 14-3, and then I changed it to 13-4, just because we always blow some random game. Like I have us losing against the 49ers, Chiefs, Rams, like just the teams that I saw like as a threat. And then us randomly losing to like the Bengals or the Lions because I know there's like one game that we just blow. So
we blow games. Blowing it to the Bengals is a different level. I think I speak for both me and Zach when I say maybe I don't. I think I do though. That you are both insane.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose more than that.
Yeah.
My guess is around 11-6. Yeah, yeah. See,
Yeah. I'd say 11, 12 wins.
yeah. I'm looking. I think Washington football team can trip us up. The Browns can. I think we definitely lose to either the Cardinals or 49ers. I think we likely lose to both the Ravens and the Chiefs, also to the Saints, just because the Packers have not been able to defend a running quarterback since probably 1846.
oh
So
wait, hold up.
I
Are
think
we
it's
playing
6
are we playing Saints home or away?
away.
Away.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah,
we're
we're gonna
losing
lose
that
that
game.
one. We
Nope.
we we don't
We're
No,
losing
we
we
won't lose
that
that
don't
game.
one.
win.
We
We
won't lose
don't
that one.
win in that
Oh wait,
stadium, okay?
I forgot they don't have Drew Brees anymore. So yeah, we're
It's,
absolutely winning that. I forgot
they
about
don't have
that.
No,
anybody.
but that
Actually,
stadium
not
is
true.
cursed.
Not true. They have $140 million man Taysom Hill. You put some respect on that name, Zach.
A revenge game. How could the
The,
Packers cut him?
hey, I'm just saying the best quarterbacks are the ones with fully voidable contracts. That's how you know a guy is elite.
Yeah. I think the Packers lose to the Rams very, like, by a lot of points, too. I think the Rams might win the Super Bowl. I think they're the best team in the NFC. It's comparable to the Buccaneers. Rams are very, very scary, even though I think their defense got worse. Their offense clearly is better.
I like how you say that after two of my favorite players in the NFL, Jared Goff and Todd Gurley, are no longer on the Rams.
Yeah, weird. Weird how that made them better.
Zach came in here for blood.
I'm angry.
Zach, I saw that. Don't think we didn't see you, force that laugh late so that nobody took it personally. Honestly, I guess on the other side of Zach, I don't see the Rams as a threat at all. Their offense is better, but Sean McVay is the king of getting in his own way, and that defense is worse. And I think when you put both those things together, I think it's a dangerous combination, especially since in that division, they're not going to be the 1 seed. I do not see this team winning 3 games. 3 games to get to the championship.
I think you're questioning how much Sean McVay had to coach around Jared Goff because he did a lot. He had to switch game plans constantly. He, like, just from the stories that have come out and people who have spoke out, he hated that guy. He absolutely could not stand Jared Goff. And the fact that he got extended just made him that much more angry, which is why now, even looking back, he really should have gone back to Washington to be that head coach. But yeah, he had to coach around Jared Goff's inabilities a lot. And now he doesn't have a quarterback where we need to make sure we set 200 yards rushing per game before we let Jared Goff start whipping it down the field because that's the only way he's comfortable. With Stafford might throw 2 of the worst interceptions in the first quarter you've ever seen. But the fact that he has receivers and an offensive line and a coach who has coached football before, he's gonna be really good. I don't think it's. I think they're the best team in that division by a long shot.
Yeah, but Elton Jenkins still made Aaron Donald cry last year.
He did. Hopefully, we don't put him at center and completely limit him.
Right. Yeah, so going on to my next question here. Is there any way that you guys see Matt LaFleur in the hot seat after this year? Is there any result that could happen? The question that was stated to me is if they lose another championship game, would his name start be brought up as someone who could be out soon?
It depends, is the question. Should he or will he? Because I think, should he be on the hot seat? There are plenty of ways he should be on the hot seat. Will he be on the hot seat? I think he has to be under 500 to be on the hot seat, because if we have learned anything about the Packers, they just they're complacent with just being average at coaches. I mean, we had Dom Capers for like 5 years after he was even, competent. So LaFleur, I think there are many situations in which he should, and there are very few in which he actually will.
I agree. And not only would the Packers have to go under 500, the defense would have to be very, very clearly terrible to say, hey, maybe Joe Barry wasn't the right hire. And then special teams would have to be the same sort of thing. Like, it would have to be a resounding, like the team turning against LaFleur and the coaching staff, I think, for that to actually even be a conversation amongst the front office. Unfortunately.
Yes.
Huh?
Any thoughts?
Look how long we were with Mike McCarthy. That's all I gotta say.
True.
We were so long with him. And he got on the hot seat like the last year. No, I'm gonna say maybe the year before. And then that's it. The last year, 2 years before, like, he left us. By the time Matt LaFleur right now is like golden boy to Packer fans just because he's getting us all these wins compared to Mike McCarthy. But no, I think it'll take a while.
I think the real question is who hurt the Packers front office, because it seems like they're in love with toxic relationships in which nothing improves, it stays bad, and we just stick with them.
Zach, did your lights just flicker?
Yeah, we're talking too badly about Joe Barry. His ghost is haunting me over here.
Janet's
Hey, my Funchess take, that's why that one's still on, still going strong.
Yeah, that's right.
So that kind of brings me into this question that I just kind of thought of. Do you think Matt LaFleur has, like, just based on what we've been saying here, do you think he has one of the safest head coaching jobs in the NFL right now?
Yeah, he doesn't have an owner pushing for anything. The entire front office is safe, unfortunately. Gutekunst has the safest general manager job, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Especially the Packers are such a high level position, I feel like, within the NFL. That's a job that everyone wants. And to show that how good or how many wins Matt LaFleur has, I think that just cements it right there that it seems like he'll grab another contract from Green Bay.
They're comparing to Vince Lombardi, like his record. Like, oh look, he's just like him.
I think it's actually Andy Reid, because Patrick Mahomes is going to be there for the foreseeable future. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes, I mean, you have to be really bad to not be fired. And although, as some people say, the Andy Reid swan dive is bad, he always chokes. Look, you got a guy like Mahomes. The fans are back. The team is finally back. I think he has a safer job for sure. LaFleur, who knows how many years he has left to Rodgers. When he gets love, it could. Well, okay, yes. I meant it to be open ended, Zach, but thank you. Once love gets in there, everything's going to change, and that's why I think I'd have to go slightly Andy Reid.
Yeah, I think so. I think just, obviously the first one that is going to come to people's mind is Bill Belichick, and I think that 6 Super Bowls helps you secure a job for almost life, But kind of just going off Jordan Love here, is there any, let's just say, wipe it clean right now, what veteran quarterback or who would you want to draft to back up the Packers, or would you want to keep Jordan Love?
There is one quarterback floating the free agency wire. No one's speaking of his name. He was on multiple teams last year, and that only speaks to his greatness. He was, I think, the 5th overall pick in the draft, which is a higher draft pick than Jordan Love, which speaks to his potential. He's a Patriot killer. He just didn't want to. Blake Bortles is just he needs to be on the team. Even if he's the 3rd quarterback at this point, he's a chemistry guy. He's a locker room guy. He knows the Rams. Hey, he probably was buddy with Joe Barry. He can come in and help run the defense because Joe Barry clearly can't do it by himself. I think that's good guy to bring in. Otherwise, Trey Lance, baby. Let's trade up. I like Trey Lance a lot.
So Zach, the guy that I had in mind was in the same draft class as Blake Bortles. It's he was drafted 22nd overall by the Cleveland Browns, I believe. Johnny Manziel, who got ran out of Cleveland by Mike Pettin, who Mike Pettin is now not in Green Bay anymore, leading Johnny Manziel to come to Green Bay, which would be just absolutely electric.
He lit up the FCF.
And once he comes, Josh Gordon's right behind, baby.
It's just very slowly behind. He's too high to walk any faster.
Okay, so after those first two suggestions, should I give an actual one or just give up some random dude that has no shot of ever being relevant again? Sorry.
Talk about Funchess and Curtis Samuel.
Well, me and Zach gave actual ones, so.
I would actually go Kyle Trask. I feel like I'm a big fan of SEC quarterbacks, and it never works out for me. I thought Fromm was good. He is. I don't even know if he's still alive. I thought Stidham was good. Again, don't know if he's even alive. Kyle Trask looked like a college Aaron Rodgers. He looked very good. He had to constantly bail out his defense, and he's not a runner, which I think is good. I think a lot of running quarterbacks don't translate, but anybody who can look good at Florida, still a solid college, but Mac Jones did a lot because he had an NFL receiving core there. Kyle Trask, he had Pitts, yes, but I don't know, 6'5", 239, just under 5 for the 40 time. You can get him around probably 2 to 4. I think he's better in love, and something about him, man. Knowing me, that means he's probably going to be irrelevant about 2 years, but third time's a charm, maybe.
I think at this point, almost anyone you name could be better than Jordan Love.
Yeah. If we want to talk about like actual veteran free agents, I'm sorry, Janet, I'll be quick, I promise.
No, you're fine. I just have a dumb story.
I mean, should I pause? Because that sounds more important than what I'm about to say.
Yeah, I want to hear Janet's story.
Yeah, please.
I have not looked into anything like that, but so one of my friends actually has a picture with Johnny Manziel, and like they took a picture of them. I guess they saw him downtown or somewhere out partying in Texas, and my friend, she went to Aggie, so all her friends saw him and they were like, we got to take a picture. They took a picture, they put it on the newspaper, and the headlines read, wherever Money Manziel goes, the women flock to him.
Jesus. People wonder why he ended up being a disaster. Like if college freshman, that's like front page of the newspaper. Stupid.
Yeah, it was. I told you I had a dumb story. Okay, go.
There are legitimate. First off, we shouldn't do this just because we have Jordan Love. If we want to cut him and just, improve the locker room, essentially, eat that money. I mean, Josh McCown is like the perfect backup quarterback of all time, probably the best backup quarterback of all time. Blaine Gabbert, I think, is fine. Nick Mullins, I think, is more than capable of just being a backup. Blaine Gabbert. Like those guys are perfect backups. They're great for the starting quarterback in terms of like in-game management and stuff like that. But, we definitely shouldn't have 3 quarterbacks. That would be the worst move of all time, like we did last year.
The only way Josh McCown is the best backup is if you're quantifying Ryan Fitzpatrick as a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure, because Ryan Fitzpatrick runs levels around that man. But like Josh McCown, when he was with the Bears, granted this is already a decent amount of years ago, he actually looked really good for the Bears. Why they didn't keep him, I have no clue. He was really solid, and he has been solid when he isn't getting, blitzed and hit within 2 seconds. But for me, it's tough, but what would be more exciting than Jameis Winston and Devontae Adams? Like, assuming Rodgers is gone, Like that would be just it would be we wouldn't win very many games, but Jameis Winston with the Joe Barry defense would maybe be the most fun losing team of all time, and it's not even close.
Wait, but he already got LASIK.
Yeah,
So now he can see.
yeah. I don't want him anymore. Could just get Jay Cutler back in the NFL too, and get him.
Oh,
back.
please. Love Jay Cutler.
That man was electric. Jameis Winston before Jameis Winston.
Jay Cutler's good. Like, people give him so much shit. He's a good quarterback. He's just a smug asshole, and the media love to hate him, which makes me love him. He would be great. Him and Rodgers giving interviews post game, media would hate coming to Lambeau.
I don't know. That'd be great. That's all the questions I had. I don't know if you guys have any other talking points or anything else you wanted to bring up here.
I have a random one that is not Packer related, so I'll go last.
Sounds like you got the only ever.
At this point, obviously, Trevor, I know your answer. At this point, should we cut Dean Lowry? Because I don't trust the Packers to even use that money. Like, if we cut him and save, what, $3 million or whatever, I don't think there's any chance we use that money to sign somebody. Like, we would do that and for some reason, like, extend or probably give a pay raise to Devontae Adams at this point because they want to extend him further. They would just pay him more this year. And Dean Lowry, at the very least, can eat up space. I just know a lot of people more than Trevor. Trevor's leading the charge for sure. But a lot of people are starting to really push for Dean Lowry's job to, be cut. That's picking up a lot of steam recently. And I don't see the point.
Yeah, Zach, I'm with you. I've been a fan of Dean Lowry. Obviously, he's not, a superstar defensive end or anything like that. But he's a guy who's serviceable. He can pick up space when needed. He's not going to be the guy who's going to go out and, 22 and a half sacks like Michael Strahan. He's just going to hopefully do his job, which maybe not all the time, but he has. I believe he has the ability to do it, and I don't see how they're going to sufficiently replace him unless they, are planning on making a big splash.
It's funny because I talk down on Dean Lowry a lot, but it's correct at this point. What is it worth? I do not like Dean Lowry. He is not a good football player. Like you said, he takes up space. What in the world is that dog doing? He just takes up space. For what, $3 million, Zach? $3 million?
I can tell you in a couple seconds. We would save at the very least $3 million. It might be slightly more than that.
Yeah, for $3
it was.
million.
I think it was like 3.8 or something like that. I had it on my notes. I don't know where it went.
I mean, for $3.8 million, what are you going to get? Again, we really just need kind of a guy to fall down. He hasn't really been able to do that, but for $3.8 million, again, it's a changing game. Might as well keep him.
Yeah, it's 3.3. So I mean, it's not even
never mind.
enough money to. It might be a third-round draft pick, something like that in that range. Second or third-round draft pick would pay that salary. I don't know. It's not worth it to me. Might as well keep him.
I feel like
up at tight end.
Yeah, there you go. He's backup quarterback here with Jordan Love.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been talking about Dean Lowry a couple times on this show. I know we kind of went extensively into him last week. Janet, you weren't here. What are your thoughts on Dean Lowry?
He's indifferent to me too. I had him on my notes as I did it. Yeah, it was an indifference because the amount of money that he is using up isn't that it doesn't make a difference if they have him on the team or not. But no point in letting him go if he's already kind of in the system. Picking up somebody new won't make a difference.
Yeah, totally agree. Trevor, I think everyone's on their seats here waiting for your question.
All right. Not including Ryan Fitzpatrick and Blake Bortles, because in a hypothetical where they're starting quarterback, if you had to bet money on one quarterback, one starting NFL quarterback, to take a bear in a fight, which would it be?
That's interesting. And that's a good question.
It's a great question.
Bear, not Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick would for sure be the answer, though.
I don't know why, but Josh Allen popped in my mind.
Josh.
Oh, I think Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz been, hunted enough bear. He's been around them. He probably has a sick bear call just right in his back pocket. Like, he knows what to do. He's always has a gun in his John Deere there. Or maybe he's not John Deere. I think it's somebody else. But he's sponsored by enough like outdoors companies. Like, if we can use a gun, he's got a gun. And he lives in Indy, so he's always got a gun,
Makes sense. If we did this last year, my first would have been Philip Rivers.
Well, that bear would kneel down to Philip Rivers.
Right.
He'd get them, to behave for sure.
Wait, you said any starting? I don't know why
Yeah.
I thought of Minshew Mania, just because that guy,
It's a good one, too.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew. Anybody that can rock jorts and that mustache and a bandana, he's ready to fight whatever gets in his way. I'm pretty sure he fought with he'd fight with like an alligator or like a crocodile. I could just see him like on top while it's like belly rolling through the water. Yeah, he looks like he's.
For me, I think the guy who's last is Kyler Murray. I think he tries to take the bear hand-to-hand combat to try to prove he's not too short and just gets mauled in like 5 seconds.
I was about to say, but me and Kyler Murray meet eye to eye, so yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I'd have to go either Drew Lock, his dance on the sideline to young Jeezy or whatever, put on for my city. I was like, you know what? Maybe he has potential, but outside of that, either Derek Carr or Justin Herbert, dude, their team photos, it looks like they just killed a bear. Like, it looks like they just murdered a whole den of bears. So I'd give the slight edge to Derek Carr because he kind of looks like that Sid kid from Toy Story.
Oh yeah,
So I'd probably go Derek Carr.
he deals with John Gruden all day. I'm pretty sure he can.
I think Cam Newton could also probably hold his own just because he wears so much fur. He'd probably just think it's another bear.
The bear would be like, oh shit, he already killed like 5 of my relatives. Better, like, it would just run away. So that's tough. Would he be able to kill the bear, or would the bear, run away? That's a tough one. These are the questions we need answered.
How many bears gotta die for Cam Newton to look fly?
Jesus.
I don't know where Brett Hundley's at in the league right now, but he used to hunt up here with Jeff Janis all the time, I believe.
He's a free agent. That guy looks so like methed out 24/7. We just need to keep him out of town, I think. I'm done with that guy. No offense. I'm sure he doesn't do meth. He just looks like it.
He fits into the Green Bay culture here, Zach.
Is that a thing up there?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
The Green Bay Packer culture is getting like 1 or 2 players getting arrested for marijuana every offseason, like by doing something stupid. So, but yeah, maybe meth is the next thing for the Packers. Who knows?
Gotta try something.
All right, I think that's a good spot to end for the day. Don't you guys think? Thanks for everyone watching. I'm sure that I won't be the host every single time. Our fearless leader Zach won't be late this next time or the time after, but that's on him, not on you viewers. But
I was celebrating Jackie Chan's birthday. Like, we got to fit in a party every once in a while.
I believe
it's National Beer Day.
I'm just
coincidence. I think not.
I'm just envisioning.
Wouldn't it be funnier if Zach showed up drunk, like it's National Beer Day?
in like a karate outfit, just like ready to kung fu?
I'm just envisioning Zach doing kung fu in his underwear, like in his bedroom.
Yeah. Well, how did you know? Well, that's why I came in so sweaty.
All right. Well, Thanks, guys. Tune in next Wednesday. I'm sure we'll have some more to talk about other than what quarterbacks can wrestle bears. But that's all I got.
Kill a
Trevor?
bear.
Kill a bear?
I'm wrestling a bear right now.
There you go. Good image to end on. Have a good one, guys.